Hello everyone, JSimLady here. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. No face cam today. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you're enjoying my channel or my videos. It really truly does help me out. And right now I'm going through a weird time with YouTube. There's some weird funny things going on, and so I'm experimenting with different formats of and ways of doing videos and stuff to see if I can get things back to where they were at before, hence the no face cam. But if you could just hit the like button, even if you only watch for a few minutes or whatever, if you could just hit the like button, I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, like I was saying, no face cam because I suddenly am having problems with my YouTube channel, and it's weird, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's me or if it's YouTube. It's probably me, honestly. But I just thought people would want it to be more consistent. I don't know what to do once I start live streaming builds. Like, how am I going to put that as speed builds on the main channel if there's face cam on them, unless I don't live stream with face cam either. But people generally like live streams to have face cam, so I guess sometimes speed builds will have face cams, but most of the time they won't. And then, or actually, I may go no face cam for like 90% of the YouTube videos. I don't know. We'll talk about it more on Thursday when I live stream again. Anyways, I was watching Pretty Poison Simming here on YouTube recently, and she did a vampire build using only base game and vampires, and it turned out so good. You definitely need to look up her YouTube channel and check it out because it turned out so good, and it inspired me to get back into building in Forgotten Hallow again. I have been wanting to do this lot pretty much since I did Hawthorne Manor, and I've just been kind of avoiding it, partly because I didn't have a whole lot of inspiration, and partly just because it is daunting doing these bigger builds for me. Like, they're big. This one I am going to have to cut into 3 parts. So the first part here, you can see we are just working on the structure. I used the house that was already there as sort of a basis, and then I kind of altered it to fit what I was going for in my head. But the inside, excuse me, completely changes. Like, the whole floor plan is so very different by the time we're done that it really wouldn't have mattered. It's one of those situations where I go into it thinking, I'm just gonna renovate this build, and then in this case, copy and paste and make 4 identical homes to make a row of townhouses, and then by the time it's done, it's almost completely different build entirely. I don't know why I call them renovations at this point. I don't know why I don't just bulldoze and start over. I guess because having something of a structure there to start with makes it easier for me to, it's like a good jumping off point for me, and then I can get into it from there, you know what I mean? But yeah, I did take the original single, but also yet a townhouse house that was there, and just made it into 4 because I want to cram as many Sims into these littler worlds as possible and have as many spaces for them as possible. It is a little weird that the ghosts technically get a much, much bigger world, but I guess in reality, they only get the one neighborhood of the world, and the other two neighborhoods, while there are, what are they called, sprites or something like that, and hauntings and things like that, they are meant for living Sims, not ghost Sims. So I don't know, but I guess technically mermaids got nothing. They got nothing at all, and neither did the aliens, now that I think about it, really. I mean, technically you can go to Sixum. I've never been there. I'm gonna try to go there very soon because I'm working on a video. But I don't think the aliens actually live there, or at least I don't know of. It's not like a world like Forgotten Hollow or Glimmerbrook. You can run into aliens there, but it's not like a world that they're actively living in, if that makes sense. So, anyways, I guess there's no one right way to do it, and they've just kind of been doing it all sorts of different ways from the beginning. Actually, there are 3 occults that have their own little tiny worlds, and that would be spellcasters, vampires, and werewolves. But then you have aliens that have nothing, mermaids that have a world, but it doesn't belong to the mermaids only. And then you have the situation with the ghosts, which is part of a bigger world. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I'm really tired. I have not been sleeping again. I was doing really, really good for a couple of weeks there, and then all of a sudden, I have been in so much pain. I have moderate to severe scoliosis, and it was only sort of treated for a brief period of time, but because of my other medical issues, we didn't go too deep into the treatment, and we weren't really sure it was gonna help anyways. And so essentially I have, more or less you could say, I have moderate to severe untreated scoliosis. And at this point in my life, and with the bed that we got, apparently it is wreaking havoc on my body. And I've been up since 3:30 in the morning. I have been in incredible pain for the last few days. So, yeah, it's just one thing after another lately. I will be glad when my daughter goes on summer vacation, because then I don't have to get up at 6:45 in the morning. I can shut all of my alarms off, and if I don't sleep well, it's fine, because I can get up for a while, and then when I get tired, I can lay back down and sleep for a while. So I think things will be a little bit better come this summer, and who knows, maybe I'll use all that time when I'm feeling better to record lots and lots of extra videos, so whenever I'm not feeling great, I can have lots of videos to upload. But here I am, decorating the front of each home to kind of fit a sort of vague personality and family type that I was sort of going for. At this point, I hadn't really picked any kind of families or anything for each of the homes. I just was kind of putting in stuff initially that I thought would look good in a vampire world with this type of row of townhouses, and I thought was like fitting for general Sims, if you will, until I got to about this point right here, and then I started forming more of an idea of who these Sims were in each of these houses. And in the next 2 videos, I'll get into those. So The next video will be Townhouse 1 and 2. These two right here on this end. And then video 3 will be Townhouse 3 and 4, the other two at the end. And I'll tell you a little bit more about each of the families as we're going about the decorating the insides of their homes. Unless I can somehow get all 4 into one video, but to be honest with you, I doubt it. I might be able to, but I think I'd be pushing it. It would be maybe a little bit longer of a video if I did. I don't know. We'll see. But at any rate, it's still going to be at least a minimum of 2 videos because this part here was already 20 minutes and I sped it up as much as I felt comfortable speeding it up. If you, when you're playing it back, want to speed it up on YouTube, that's totally fine. I understand that. I do that myself sometimes, but as I used to mention frequently in my videos, I don't do the speed builds at too high of a speed because I'm trying to... I want to make it easier for people who have eyesight or visual impairment issues, or people who get migraines really easy, or motion sickness. The motion sickness one is still a little bit harder for me because when I'm building, it's hard to see how the movement is going to be when you speed the footage up, and no matter how many times I tell myself don't make certain movements, when you're in the game playing it, it doesn't feel like those movements would make motion or create motion sickness. And then you get to speeding the footage up and you're like, oh yeah, I can see how this can create motion sickness. Although, do a lot of people who get motion sickness watch speed builds very often? Probably not. That was the other reason why I wanted to get into trying to get better at real time building and decorating, because there would be no speeding up of the footage at all. But I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad at it. It's not even funny. I know if I did it more, I would get better and better at it over time. But I'm just so bad at it. I just don't even want to keep trying. I'm so terrible at it. It's embarrassing how bad at it and how slow I am. It's like really, really embarrassing. So I played around with the floor plan for quite a while before I was able to finally settle on something that I thought really worked well with the small, narrow footprint of each of these homes. I kept forgetting that these are predominantly vampires that are living here. Yes, some of them will have children, but eventually those children will either grow up and move out. Like, I don't envision any of the builds here in this world to specifically cater to non-vampire Sims, which means they don't really truly need much of a kitchen. You're not gonna have a, world-class chef move into Forgotten Hollow. The vampires aren't gonna like it very much. Like, they want to be around other vampires mostly, or at least people who don't care that much about human food, right? At least that's the story I tell myself in my head. And so, yeah, you're just not gonna get a lot of that in this world. And so the kitchens don't have to be huge or magnificent. They just have to work well enough to feed children and guests when guests come over who are non-vampires, and that's about it. Because the majority of the residents here don't eat food, can't eat food, won't eat food, other than like, what is it? Is it a salad? A plasma fruit salad? And basically, what is it? Just a bunch of plasma fruit chopped up, and that's it? So, yeah, so they don't really need much for kitchens, which takes me a while to wrap my head around every time I build in this world. I'm weird, I know. But yeah, so I'm just fixing up the backyards. I did put one kitchen in one house already just to sort of test it out and make sure that I had enough room for the basic items, but that kitchen's not going to stay, and we'll get to decorating the real kitchens later on. But yeah, at this point, I'm looking around the world trying to decide what trees best to put on here. I did grab a plasma fruit tree from the gallery, but I also wanted other trees from around the world in here too. And I had a heck of a time finding that tree. That tree that you see right there, that came from a different pack. I don't remember which pack, and I'm sure you could see it on there on the screen. I couldn't see it right at the moment, but it came from a different pack. It's in this one, it's in this world, but it was in debug, or was it in the regular menu? I don't remember, but either way, in the menu, it was listed as being part of a different pack. I'm very confused when that happens with the trees and stuff, because I'm pretty sure the other pack that this tree was marked as came out after vampires. So did we just not get this tree made available to us until another world came out later? I mean, I guess that's happened a couple of times now, but that's weird to me. Is it not weird to anybody else? And here is where I really decided, like, fully 100%, okay, these are the personalities of these families. This is who's going to be living in this family. Like, this is where I solidified who was going to be living in these homes. And again, we'll talk about that in the next video, but you can see based on just how I decorated their front porches alone, the different personalities of the different families living in the different townhouses. And after this, with Hawthorne Manor and this alone, there should be plenty of places for plenty of vampires to live now. I will keep the I forget what their names are, the brother and sister. I'll keep their house as a regular house, I think, maybe. Probably. Maybe just update it for newer packs and stuff. And then the other one, I want to turn into part home, part business lot. Or maybe just a community lot, but I need to know what I should make for the vampires. Like, what type of hangout / community lot do you think would be good to have in a vampire world? I thought about a restaurant bar situation where the restaurant and bar only serve plasma fruit salad and plasma drinks, but for some reason, when I had the vampire sims eat at a restaurant, even though they were eating plasma fruit salad and they drank the plasma fruit drink from the bar, they still got a bad moodlet saying that they ate human food and it was gross and they feel sick now. So, and what was really weird was it was a vampire sim who had the perk where they could eat human food and it would be fine. So that really threw me off. But, I mean, maybe it was glitched. If you've had that happen and it turned out just to be a glitch, let me know down in the comments as well. But yeah, otherwise I can't think of any other thing, but I do think at least one community lot of some sort for them to hang out in would be a good idea, but maybe not. Maybe the plaza in the center of this little town is fine. Anyways, we are pretty much done here. So if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do, and I will see you in the next one for the insides of these places. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.